I'm gonna grab this one, that one. I've kind of counted them out a little bit. I've got 2 in here. I think there's 9 boards. And this one. I feel like they'll fit in this board bag though. This is a 6'4", in case the waves are as big as they can get almost. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this thing's gone through its paces. You can see I've even put a patch on it right here because it goes so good. Don't want to break it. Grab a couple suits.
It's 10 days before the 9th stop on the WSL World Championship Tour, the Quiksilver Pro France and the Roxy Pro France.
I know that feeling it takes to win world titles. And it's been the first thing I think about in the morning when I wake up and the last thing I think about when I go to bed. That's the feeling I've been missing the past couple years. But I know it's coming back and I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it.
France, I just want to focus a lot on surfing really well, training hard, and winning the event. Period.
I'm excited. Yeah, really looking forward to the waves that we get in France. There's a lot of opportunity left on the table, lots of points. If I can kind of roll through some big results, which I have done in the past through the Europe leg, I feel like I've definitely still got a chance.
I'm ranked number 2 in the world right now with a shot to win the world title that will require me winning probably the next 2 events. So that's the goal I have and what I'm gonna try and achieve.
So for each of these 4 surfers, France will offer a chance to write the next chapter of their story. An opportunity to take a step forward in some way, either to seize some much-needed momentum at this point in the season, or take their best shot at the coveted world title. This is All In, live on the WSL Championship Tour.
Carissa driving hard, big flow in transition.
Wow. Jordy having a look at this one. The crowd turning up for their hometown hero.
Julian Wilson, wide open pit.
That was an amazing wave for Julian Wilson.
Meanwhile, Lakey Peterson
Tagging that one off the top.
And Lakey Peterson hangs on for the victory.
Okay. Great. So we'll go in this room. Yeah. And he wants your head up this end, which will be. So right? Yeah. So we'll just. What I thought we might do is then I'll work from the other side.
Okay.
Yeah. How did it go after the other day?
It held up pretty well.
Okay.
It's a bit tight, like it's this.
Yeah.
Right here is quite tight. I was riding a mountain bike in January, went over the handlebars. Yeah, I just came undone, ruptured the AC joint in my shoulder. The collarbone was sticking out and I was having white flashes of pain, and that was, 6 weeks out from snapper. And since that injury, I've been trying to build my confidence back up.
Good. Nice. And think relax a little bit more so that you breathe into here and we get this nice length here. Arms come up. Good.
I put my trust in a new way of training my body to help get me back out in the ocean as soon as possible, which was this DNS program.
On this, you can imagine yourself standing on the board and you're actually bending down, hanging onto the board as you're coming through. This is this position. And if I can have length during that, in the spine, you have more control and you have power.
Yeah, it's all baby movements. It's power from your diaphragm breathing, and using that in a way that it can provide freedom to the joints that may be hampered. And it was daunting. I was 5 weeks in. I was getting a little bit of progress, but then my baby girl came 4 weeks early. So we're in the hospital, and we ended up being in the hospital for like a week just to look after her. And I was still doing my exercises and my rehab on the floor in the hospital. The day we were leaving, it was 5 days before the snapper event, and my shoulder was hurting. I was like, am I kidding myself even trying to get to snapper, or, you know, realistically, what's my chances? I was just like, oh man, this feels rubbish. Like, you know, it's not there, but it was kind of decision time. I was heavily inspired by my wife and watching her go through having a child and just what that takes. And I felt like I was being a wuss. And I was like, well, we might as well have a go.
Welcome to a big opening day here on the Gold Coast of Australia for the Quiksilver Pro and Roxy Pro, the first stop of an amazing championship tour season on the World Surf League.
And Julian Wilson, we're interested to see how he performs. Injured himself doing some cross training in late January.
I couldn't paddle out, so I had to speak to Kieran Perro and be like, can I wait for my heat to start, hop on the jet ski and be dropped into the lineup?
And Julian keeping busy and tucks into the barrel once again, so starting to feel it out here in the first round.
And then, yeah, I won the heat, went in, saw Chris, got my shoulder worked on. There's obviously positions when you're surfing that, like, you need to throw your arms around and you need to lift your arm up and stuff. In that fourth round heat, my shoulder just felt terrible. So yeah, there was a lot of doubt in, you know, did I do the right thing? But then at the same time, like, being in the ocean, feeling that good energy of being in the ocean and competing, and I don't know, it was just like, I felt like I'd made the right decision, but I definitely had to question it time and time again.
Have a look at this thing for Julian. A bigger set wave. He's well positioned. Ducks under the lid. This is a former pipe master in the barrel, and he easily finds an exit.
It was literally like, how do I get that injury through one more opportunity?
Julian Wilson makes the final for the second time in his career at the Quiksilver Pro. Wilson on the next one. Big section, he pulls in.
Julian Wilson backdooring an incredible wave.
Julian Wilson is your 2018 Quiksilver Pro champion.
For me, this is one of the bravest victories that we've ever seen on the championship tour.
Snapper, like, it's the one event that I've wanted to win more than any other event in my whole life. When I did win it this year with zero preparation and just the way that it happened, it was surreal. I owed it to my wife, because I wouldn't have found that strength and that vulnerability to put myself out there in that situation, that unprepared, that physically challenged. It just didn't make sense unless you went through a life-changing experience of watching your wife have a baby.
Okay, you ready? The standard warm-up we've been doing?
Yeah, might as well, you're used to it.
It's been kind of a wild time, and I leave for France in a week and want to try and win the world title. And to be totally honest, I had a pretty rough few years before this year. I lost for 6 years straight, which for someone like me who's that competitive, it just felt like, should I be doing this? Or like, are you even good enough to be doing this? Like, because it feels like I'm going backwards. I think I got comfortable with just losing. But France last year was like when everything in my whole world just started to change. And I let go of like results being your happiness. I let go of like surfing defining the human that I am and the person I am. And I just like was like, I'm just gonna work my hardest and I'm gonna put my best foot forward. I got second against Carissa in France. And then since then, it's been like something switched in me. From there, it was like this momentum shift and I just like have kept going. Just feels totally new to me. I'm in like uncharted territory for myself for the first time ever. Like I'm coming into France, second to last event, in a world title race with Stephanie Gilmore, who used to be a signposter on my wall. I want to surf really well in France, enjoy just being in the position that I'm in right now.
So here we are in the car, we're on the way to LAX, and all my stuff's in the back, ready to go. Pretty excited though, so we'll see. There's my boy.
Hey, I got the magic stick, bro. The lowest machine, don't worry.
Gone through customs, now try and find something to eat. And I think my coach is here, so go try and meet up with Gally, see where he's at.
There he is. What are you doing? Are you stretching?
I'm barefoot in PF Chang's.
Oh, that's gold.
For Jordy Smith, the trip to France is just the latest reminder that to be a surfer, you have to be comfortable living on the road. He spends much of the year at least based in Southern California, but Jordy's home and his heart are tied firmly to the land of his youth, South Africa.
At all times, you are representing your country. 2010, the win at J-Bay, the most mind-blowing experience I could have ever gone through at that point, for sure. 17 years old, like, I couldn't believe it. I don't think anybody else could either. And to win it, you know, in front of your home crowd and friends and family, there's no better feeling in the world. There hadn't been a win from South Africa for a very, very long time. I could just see it in everybody's faces. Everyone was so excited. Everyone was so happy. The craziest thing is, like, they'll let you know about it when you go home too. They're like, damn, you know, we'll pull them for you in that last one, but. You know what it is? It's because before Marky, there was just one. There's one person on the tour. It's not like the US or any of the other countries that have 5, 10 people on tour, so it's a lot of weight on your shoulders, but you know what? I'm okay with being that guy.
While Jordy Smith is just landing in Hossegor, Carissa Moore has been in France for several days, though today, she's heading back to the airport to pick up some moral support.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. It's been fun. I'm staying at a house with some of the Hurley boys, and they're amazing, but I'm so excited for him to come. Hi, Annie.
You're a little bit late.
I know, I'm sorry. Hi. I have to admit, it was a bit of a struggle this first half of the year because Luke was at home most of the time while I was on the road. When I'm struggling and I'm having a tough time on tour and, you know, results aren't working out.
I miss you so much.
All you want is someone that is there to comfort you and believes in you and kind of talks you out of your own negative thoughts. But when he's around, it's a great distraction. You know, it's easy to get caught up in all the competition and take things too seriously, so it's nice to have him around.
Where's that?
It's right over here. He's here!
This place is pretty sick.
Yeah. There was a point where I went to Brazil this year and I really needed to do airs and I needed to land airs to get big scores and there was a few key moments in that event where I just really didn't stick my airs. Felt like my confidence wasn't there and I wasn't sure like what was missing and how to build that back up and where do I start. Realised I got on the skateboard, I started remembering old tricks, and the clog started turning in my head, and I started to, warm back up to it. I'm getting back to a place where I'm really excited to do airs again.
You see the mega ramp? Is that the foam pit? It's a crash mat. Have you done any rotations on it? Yeah, I was getting the Indy alley-oop thing.
Getting to France a week early, getting my feet back in the wax and riding some good waves will be obviously important to the lead up to that event. I'm excited. I feel like if I get those opportunities in the ocean, I'm gonna have some fun.
Cheers. See ya. See you, bro. See you, mate. See you, guys.
How's it going?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Let's go get some surfboards.
Check out your boards.
Okay. We are at the Channel Islands Surfboard Factory in Carpinteria. It's literally like 2 minutes from my house. Whoa, red rockets.
I mean, I work with Lakey and all the athletes with just kind of fine-tuning their surfboards for each event. I've worked with Lakey for the last 3 years. This year, she had a magic board from Britt Merrick, who's shaping her boards. She had such a good start winning the first event.
Well, it's hard when you have magic boards, that's all you want to write.
Yeah, I know. That one is, I'm so scared it's gonna break.
So we're trying to copy boards that are just like that. It's just been fun trying to make little adjustments through the year to make her boards that much better. I think this could be her year. It's pretty exciting here. Everyone's watching definitely all the heats. I think she's trained so hard, and that's why she's in this position right now. And so I think with all her training and hopefully the love and support that we've given her is gonna take her to the top. It's like the best thing ever. People are stopping on the road going, "It's great."
Really? You're like, yeah, I built that.
Carissa Moore encountered success fast and early in her career with 3 world championships. But over the last 3 seasons, she struggled to meet the high standards she set then, with only a handful of wins to her name.
It's been 2 years, 2.5 years. I'm like, okay, when am I gonna get out of this slump? I'm thankful for the perspective it's given me to be at the top. I realize how much work it takes to get there. When you're not having a run of results that you want, it's hard to break out of it sometimes. And I think for me, I've always overthought things. I've always had a lot of self-doubt. I think I had an epiphany moment that it was like, hey, I really can't control what anyone else is doing. I really have to put my blinders on and focus on what I'm gonna do. I'm like, okay, I gotta stop waiting. I gotta make it happen.
And this year, after her long string of underwhelming results, Carissa has found the momentum she needed so badly, just in time for the Roxy Pro France, in the form of the World Championship Tour's newest event.
Thanks for joining us here at the Surf Ranch Pro, presented by Hurley.
What stood out to me the most, or the moments that I was the most proud of, was actually when I got in the water and I just I took a moment to kind of take a deep breath. And my sister had sent me these really funny Snapchat videos before the contest started, and I just replayed them in my head and kind of laughed out loud before I took my wave. And I made sure just to have fun, and I just had fun.
2 turns quickly for the surfer from the island of Oahu, belting it hard off the lip. Big sweeping down carve, loves that combo off the lip. But she'll just enjoy that view inside the bowl. And what a great opening run for the 3-time world champion.
Oh, unbelievable.
I guess the craziest thing about the Surf Ranch was that, you only get a few opportunities and you have to capitalize on them, or you just, that's it, that's all you got.
One of the most unbelievable talents we've ever come across on the championship tour. Already considered to be one of the greatest of all time.
Carissa Moore in the finals day started with a 9, then to a 9.2. So she had plenty of room to just have some fun.
When this lady is switched on, she's so hard to beat. And she definitely looks like she's come to play. All style as she grabs that rail, tucks in.
I'm kind of just soaking that all in. That was such a fun ride to watch. It just seemed like Carissa was enjoying every moment of it.
It was kind of crazy how it all happened. It was kind of anticlimactic. Some of the girls got some extra waves because some of the waves had come through that weren't great, and so they gave them another chance. And then my time that I was supposed to surf got pushed back, and then they thought I had won, and so people tried to like start interviewing me, and then I'm like, no.
I'm down here, but she's waving me off. She's psyched. She's ready to go get more points. You are the champion. You know that, right?
She doesn't want to look at you, Pete. You're not ready for it.
It was weird. They like announced that I had won and then took it back, and so I didn't actually find out that I had won until right before I was about to take off on my wave.
Things are still buzzing after that performance from 3-time world champ Carissa Moore. Blitzing the field from her opening run of competition. Big warm welcome to your champion of the Surf Ranch Pro presented by Hurley, Carissa Moore.
Obviously, it felt amazing to be back up on the podium and to raise the trophy above my head, but oddly enough, like, I could have cared less about that moment. For me, I shared this moment with my husband in the locker room after I had won. He'd been with me through that whole month when I kind of changed things around and worked with my dad really hard in the water and my trainer and my sports psych. And so it was kind of like, look at all these little steps I took and I accomplished to get to this moment. That was more important to me than the trophy moment, you know?
On the next episode of All In, the surfers get settled in France as they ready themselves for the contests ahead.
Our main focus, once we've arrived in France, is just to try and get acclimatized and then dial in our equipment. Yeah, just becoming familiar with each board and then basically just preparing for D-Day.
Without Tom in my life, I don't think I'd be doing as well as I am, like professionally, but just like even emotionally, like he's been amazing for me.
Yeah, she's got something in her that a lot of people don't. You know, one week she could be off, and the next week she'd be winning events again. It's a real testament to her ability and her mind.
I asked him as a kid, like, what do you want to do? He said he wanted to change the sport. To have that insight, like, as a kid, he's got something different.